It's your boy Concert Viz 34 back at home.
What up? What up? It's your boy Concert Viz 34.
Yep, so your boy Concert Viz 34 coming to you here.
What up? What up? It's your boy Concert Viz 34. Aria. Okay, so this is Aria, and just tell us a little bit about yourself and about your love for the Dave Matthews Band.
I've been a fan of the band since April 28, 1998, and if you recognize the date, that's when Before These Crowded Streets was released.
Alpine is definitely a better venue than Summerfest, but we'll take it. I think I've been going to shows for about 20-something years.
I always tell people, like, compare DMB to now to when I first started. And I got started, in my opinion, I feel like I got started late. Like, I was at the very end of the band's prime. I feel like that 03 to 06 was like the end of the prime. 07, 08 was like, you know, we're at the very end. And then when Roy passed.
Dave really, this is the thing. Dave has put, Rashawn has been assigned the quarterback of this team. He is the coach, the play caller. He designs the jams. Dave just shows up and plays whatever he's going to play. Shout out to the whole DMV, DC, Maryland, Virginia. What up? Don't forget to hit that like button, guys. Share this stream too. All right, folks. All right. Happy Saturday. DMB in the DMV. So we got to play some local music from Virginia. Who knows this song? Classic song from a classic Virginia artist named Missy Elliott. Get your DMB freak on. right. All right, who else? Who knows this? Now, this is some of y'all. You gotta be hip hop fans to know this stuff. Okay. If you know, you know. And we're gonna talk about the show here. We're gonna talk about everyone in the comments. Looks like we had some chatter before I came on here. All right, thank you. All right, so we're gonna get to some things here. Hoping to have our first guest on. Hey, Shane from Colorado. I am so happy for Shane and his wife Angie. I am a huge Revivalist fan. They are awesome, and he got 2 signed posters, back-to-back nights, Mission Ballroom, and then Red Rocks. He got back-to-back posters that were signed by the band. And if you have not seen the Revivalist, one thing is, if you're a D&B fan, they have a saxophone player, and they also have a slide guitar player, giving you like it. They are just an amazing band with amazing energy, and they are in their youth still. Right, you're going to get a lot of energy from this band. To me, they're in their prime. Obviously, we don't know what the future holds, but to me, they have a couple of albums out. They have a great stage presence. I may be seeing them next month potentially. That's still to be determined, but there is a possibility I will see them next month. Yeah, and the keys player also plays trumpet there. So let's take a look at the comments while we're waiting for our guests to come on. So, okay, so this is one of the things. So John is my fellow Connecticut resident. He says the show is not good. I don't even think this tour has been good. Now, Andrew says you're complaining. We got Shotgun, Break for a Dreaming Tree. Wow. My complaint is that those songs are few and far between. Instead of he's been dumping Can't Stop and Sledgehammer nonstop, we could probably add Bio to this list. Now, here's what I'll say, John, is we got the same thing last year, and I actually pulled up some information. So let's take a look at last year, okay? What I will say is Break For It and Break Free, you were still getting a lot of those. If we go to the tour summary, right? And we go to songs, and we go to the counter, right? So Break Free, we've got out of 12 shows, we got 5. Or is it 13? Are we at 13? I think we're at 13. Anyway, there's been 5 Break Frees, right? We've had 5 Grannies, 5 Seek Ups. And at this time, even though Bayou came back, it's still only 1 Bayou. We've had no Everyday. The other thing is Madman's Eyes is a good song. It's got the 10 spot. Warehouse is the leader, way beyond Don't Drink the Water by 4 songs. So I think that that's important. That yes, obviously there's some things we're seeing a lot of repeats, but at the same time, Break For It has 7 plays. Okay. And at this point, we have, I think the biggest thing about this tour is, listen, the band is, they're not going to go back to 2004, but we're getting a historic amount of Break For It's. We're getting 7 2-steps, which again, you have to remember, And I think this is where regions matter here, because John is from Connecticut. He's in Connecticut like me, so we get some crazy stuff in Connecticut. You guys in Deer Creek, Alpine, you guys get some amazing things. Blossom does at times as well. There's been 7 2-steps to this tour. I know obviously that was a staple at one point in the band, but the whole South has not had 2-step like this. We have 7 2-steps, right? Yes, there's 8 You and Me's, but that's also a popular song, right? We have a 641. So 41 started off slow, but it's kind of coming back. Yes, there are 6 Can't Stops, but there was a bunch of Can't Stops last year. Last year we had a bunch of Can't Stops, right? And if we go to a summary of even the songs from, this is 2021. So let's take a look at, this is going to be your 2021 summer fall, right? And we'll do by song, right? Look at this top. We have 19 Don't Drink the Waters, right? We have 19 Louisiana Bios. I don't see us getting to 19 Louisiana Bios this year. I don't see it. Even though it came back today, they would have to really be playing this almost every other day, and we have a bunch of 2-night stands, right? There was 14 Sledgehammers last year. I know they've been playing a little more this year in the early gate, but the biggest difference between the last tour and this tour is this tour this is like, obviously they left the South for one day and they came back to the northern part of the South today. Now they're going to get to the bread and butter of their tour, and that's where we're going to look at what they show for the Northeast. But I think the biggest thing here is, once you get past a certain part of DMB fandom, once you get past a certain part, either you just got to go to the big 2-night stands. They have to play for the biggest thing is they have to play for their venues. They have to play for the crowd there. And a lot of these venues have been casual fans. Even the Austin, Texas, where you had a lot of fans travel that are diehard, it's still a casual show. So I think that's what I would say, John, is that it's a lot of casual markets. So they have to play accordingly. Even so, Jacksonville, you get some great stuff with Derek Trucks and Susan Tedeschi night too. So that's where it's at right now. That's how I feel. Now this show is interesting because it has touches of 2 different things. It has some things that are crowd favorites that are more mainstream, right? That Girl Is You, right? You have a Sledgehammer, you have a You and Meh, you have a Louisiana Bayou, but then you do get a bunch of stuff that the deep tracks only fans love. You get a Lying in the Hands of God, you get a Lover Lay Down, you get a Rooftop Tour debut, which also gets some casuals up and dancing because it's a fun song, right? You still have a Gray Street. Any Warehouse is good, right? You get a Madman's Eyes, which a lot of the hardcores love, the 10th Madman's Eyes of the tour. And keep in mind, Bristow may be a home state show for the band. It was the last of Roy Moore's show. But Bristow, Virginia has a very, some of the shows in Bristow aren't really like standout shows, especially, these in the current era of this band. There's not stuff to be like, oh my gosh, they played that, right? It's still, to me, not a DMB heavy mark. Like, there were fans here, but not a lot of fans are flying down for Bristow. Okay? There were probably more fans at Blossom because of what Blossom brings and how beautiful it is. It's a destination for DMB fans. Bristow and even Virginia Beach, even though, yes, you do get a lot of people that love DMB, right? But even Virginia Beach, it's not like a mecca of Dave Matthews Band fans. And I have family that live down in the 757 Tidewater portion of Virginia. So you're going to get casual. Now, the big thing that I saw today is we have 1, 2, 3, 4 repeats. Only 4 repeats, and you have 2 single night shows in a row. I think that is a very, very significant thing. I think that is a big thing because they've had more, right? They've had more than 4 repeat. And even the repeats, come on. If that's going to be repeated, that's good. The vocals on that song are amazing. And I actually, on Instagram, I actually had a little bit of excitement and joy. Let's play my Instagram story here.
It's your boy ConstantViz34. Tune in at 10:45
It live for the first time.
My brother Rab, you got them vocals on point. I don't know what you did in the teleconference, but Dave and Buddy, they was on point right here for come on here. It's coming. And then right here, buddy, buddy. Woo, yo, that is fine. That is what we need for this band.
So yeah, that's what I am. That's what I love. Is Derrick, hey, let's get you on. What's your Instagram or Twitter handle? Let me know what your Instagram or Twitter, because I'm gonna send you a message to get you linked up here. If you have Instagram or Twitter, or that would probably be the best way to get you on. So let me know if you have that. Show number 71. Andrew says, I'm glad Virginia in the Rain is back. Absolutely. I think that is a great addition to the repertoire. Number 40 Tees. The encore, I think, was solid. This was one of the best encores of the tour, just because you get a Virginia in the Rain and an Ants. I think it is Virgins. He says Virgins in the. Oh wait, you got the wrong song. I mean, I know it's a spelling error, but you got the wrong thing there. Virgins in the Rain. Now, we have to go and talk about a serious. There was a horrible thing that happened for this show, and it was the fact that Louisiana Bayou is back. So Louisiana Bayou made its tour debut. We had been talking about how great it was not to have Bayou, and now apparently it is back.
Ain't nobody got time for that.
It should just be the jam. Louisiana Bayou, they should cut all the verses and just make it the Buddy Strong jam and call it Buddy Strong Bayou, right? That would be actually good. Okay, so it looks like Renee is going to be on. DP Duke, what's your let me see if I can message you. Let me see if we can get you. Actually, here's what I'll do. I'm going to go to, let's see, I'm going to try to send you a message here. Maybe it won't. Huh. I see your. So Greg says full number 40 for Hartford. I hope so. Maybe it's a practice. It's a warm up. Justin says the buzzard is the best part of the show. Yeah, I love the buzzer. is fun to add on. And then of course we got your favorite part of the show.
Convict music.
But DP Duke 69, if you have if you can put in the chat your Instagram or Twitter, even if you're, that would be the best way to get it to you. I mean, I could put it in the chat. I would love a number 34. I got a number 34 tease for the 34th Hartford show on the 12 string, but I've never got a full number 34 lyrics or no lyrics. So that is what it is. Another concern I have now, again, I still think this has a lot of great elements. This show does. Again, for Bristow, this is Bristow, Virginia. It's not. It is not Saratoga Springs, but there's a lot of great in this set. I think people have to realize you're going to get some deep cuts. You're going to get some Main Street stuff. You're going to get stuff in the middle. I don't like that there's 5 Come Tomorrow, but 2 of the Come Tomorrow I like, Virginia in the Rain and Come On. Let's see if... Yeah, all right, but we're gonna try to get. I'm trying to get Renee on here. Tony C is here. Tony C, thank you for coming in here. Okay, so we're gonna bring in our first. We're gonna bring in our first caller here. Renee, she was at the show.
Hey, Mark,
Renee,
can you hear me?
Yes, I can hear you. How was this show? Talk to us.
Okay, so the show was great. Of course, the show was amazing, but I will tell you, so this is my first time in the pit ever, on the rail in the pit, and I've never been to Bristow before. Do you want to be on? And it was a really rough pit. From talking to like friends that I was with, and it was like an aggressive pit. I mean, again, the show was great. The guys were great. All that was wonderful.
They were really into it.
But
they
yeah, the guys were really into it
tonight.
Yeah.
I mean, really big smiles.
Yeah.
Just like going back and forth, having the best time.
Yeah. I mean, it was awesome, but I will tell you, it was hard. Like we kept getting pushed and bumped, and there was this guy behind us with his kids, and he was being very aggressive with people around. And at one point, his daughter started crying, like, and we were all just kind of like, holy crap, like,
it's a little distracting.
It was a little hard. It was a little distracting. I know, not something you'd expect to hear, right? Like,
it was just distracting. But the set was really, really, really good. The set was really great. So much energy. They were clearly having so much fun.
Yeah.
They had, I don't know how this happens, but like, hi. There was this was really funny. I've never heard this happen. And through the speakers, somebody's phone was ringing. And you could see like Tim and Jeff and Rashad and then Stefan all were like cracking up. It was like do 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 do, and like whose ever phone, or I don't know the mechanics of all of it, but they all just like started laughing. Like, I've never seen it happen, but it was hilarious. I mean, they played great. It didn't really matter. They just kept going because they're like pros, but it was really funny. And everybody kind of looked at each other like, is that your phone? Is that your phone?
But it was coming from the guys. Like,
it was from the speakers.
So there was a hot mic that picked up a phone on stage.
Yes, that's what I'm trying to say. Thank you.
Oh, wow. Was this
hilarious?
Was this during Crush? Because someone sent me a message a couple minutes ago.
Yes, it was during Crush.
Wow.
It was really funny.
It was really funny, but
yeah.
Renee, so this is Renee's first time in the pit, and she was on the rail.
It was awesome.
And
wow.
It was pretty special. They changed up the encore.
Yeah.
On the set list.
So what
Yeah.
was the
So
encore for that was planned?
there's a solo, and then You Might Die Trying, but they did, Virginia in the Rain into Ants.
Yep.
So pretty different.
Oh
Yeah, I
wow.
was holding out. I was holding out for Dreaming Tree, but that's all right. Next show.
But it was cool. It's because there was a couple different age kids behind us, and they got up to the rail, and Rodrigo, who's one of the photographers, made sure that they got pics. And then
Aw.
yeah, and I actually think, I mean, I don't have any basis for this statement, but I think Dave may have changed the encore once he like saw them on the rail and stuff, the kids, which was
Oh
cool.
wow.
Yeah, so I don't know. It was fun. I mean, I had no
Yeah.
complants
Yeah, it was
about
fun.
the set list.
It was. It was fun. The set list was great.
It's a
The music-
big pit. It's a big pit. We were crushed at the end up against the barricade. We could not move. We had to wait for people to move back to stop being crushed into the barricade.
Now, did you guys win the? Did you guys win the warehouse lottery?
We didn't. I mean, I guess it depends on how you define win.
Yeah.
But everybody gets random numbered wristbands,
Right.
like it's just right. And so Renee was in the like first 20-ish, wouldn't you say? Yeah.
Nice.
So I was not. I was back, but
Yeah, it was a cool experience.
it was cool. They
Yeah,
did
'cause
a really nice job with it.
I was gonna say, yeah, I know it's numbered now, and I like that because I don't think it should be something where you have to camp out the entire day. It should be something you show up 2 hours before, you allow
Right.
the random draw, and I think you get more people at the front of the line. And this is something Fish just started this random process as well, but I like
Oh, they did?
yes, they actually for the
Cool.
spring tour, and they actually started it when my first show ever for Fish was this April. They tested it in Madison Square Garden. There were
Oh,
now the floor there, it was the full floor, like the full basketball court. So they did 50%. They did half of them were email, the other half were you show up in the morning at like 9 or 10 a.m. but then you go home. That's it. They give you a like a alert.
oh, in the
That's
morning.
interesting.
Yeah,
Okay.
and then you go home. You enjoy the rest of your day, and so it was
Right.
half like random emails of everyone in the floor because they don't have a warehouse. It's just and then the other half was if you did want to camp out, it was only in the morning. So it was like a couple hours. You wake up at 6, 7 a.m. and by 9 a.m. there's a line. If you make it, you make it. You don't. I like that better because I just think it's not fair for people who go to a Bristow, go like for me, go into the gorge. I'm not lining up at 9 a.m. I know some people will, but I'm not lining
So-
up. So,
Here's
Yeah.
what I will say is that I have done both. Like I've
Mhm.
been at the gorge at 5 a.m. in line.
Mhm.
And I've done both. And now everybody has an opinion about this. I'm honestly okay either way. Like I will
Gotcha.
put in the time to if I can get a good spot on the rail in the pit and stuff. I love it. I like being on the rail for a lot of reasons. One is that I'm very short and I have control over the situation.
Yeah.
I'll put in the time. Having said that, I think the lottery is absolutely more equitable and
Right, that's
really
what-
a
that's what
much
it's
better
about.
way to do it for everybody, mostly like the crew,
Mm.
the venue staff,
Right.
like all of us camped out. Like there's also something I like about spending the day with like people in line and you get to know, like there's that. But I
Right.
do think this is a more equitable process for
Absolutely.
sure. And I'm good either way. Like
Right.
I am like, I can see both sides of the coin, whatever.
Gotcha.
Yeah.
And I do enjoy. Like I actually got my first and only real experience at Mohegan Sun this year, and I
Nice.
enjoyed. Actually, one of the people I was in line with was my guest last weekend. So I like the camaraderie. I just like 2 hours of it, but I understand. Like I know someone who, listen, my friend D, she was in that line for the gorge last year, and she was in tears of joy
Oh,
because she had never been that close to Dave. So I get it. I get both, but I like I said,
totally.
I agree the equity of it. So there's a couple of songs that made its way back. The first one is So Right. What was that like to get that song
it was pretty amazing. I mean, I don't know if I have like,
It was so good.
yeah, it was so good.
I was so happy. I mean, I think that's maybe where I was dancing a lot.
Yeah.
I'm looking at.
we're looking at.
We're looking at the set list, like the nerds we are.
I got a set list.
That's
Yeah,
awesome.
she got a set list. Yeah, I mean,
it was really cool.
I was dancing. I always dance really hard at shows, and So Right was definitely were the ones that I was going bananas because they just love it.
Yeah.
It was great to have that back. Honestly, he brought out the car. I was like, the guitar.
Yeah.
I've been doing that all day. I was like, oh, it's Can't Stop. And I was like, no, I was wrong. This is rad.
Yeah, it was really cool. And the opening, That Girl Is You, that was pretty awesome.
That was incredible.
I would have to say, like, that was a really cool way to open the show.
Now, which one was he talking? Was he talking about you, Renee? Or who was he talking about?
Yes, it was her.
I mean,
he was like, what up, Renee? Did you know that girl is you, Renee?
I mean, my first rail, he was like, yep, I'm giving this to you. So it was, but it was fun. It was great. What were you thinking? What other songs were you?
So the other new songs for the tour, Rooftop was the second one.
Yeah.
I lost it.
That was awesome.
I lost it.
Rooftop, that was awesome.
Yeah.
I was really excited to hear that. That was
really
cool.
Really special. It's one of my favorites.
Yeah, that was awesome.
I think that song I love how they Extreme Makeover Home editioned it. After the first year, they had that new breakdown in 2013 where they actually do the da-da and they do, it switches up. I think that made that song, it gave it a whole new vibe. And that I love it because of that. Initially it was an okay song, but that really to me just, no matter if you're a first time fan, if you've been here for 30 years, since the band was literally formed, that song, because of that little breakdown, just is a fun song.
Change it up. Yeah.
Yes, Marcus, I could not agree with you more on that assessment. That's like really, it has it is just so good.
It is.
It is.
I don't have all the words.
I know. We're like, it's been a crazy weekend. I will say what I love too is I heard Madman's Eyes at a couple shows last year.
Yeah.
But to be on the rail and be that close and see the passion in Dave when he's singing that song, like he wants you to, it was like he's looking at you, and the way he was trying to share the message, like he was trying really hard to share the message, so we got it. Like it was kind of powerful, to be honest with you.
Wow.
I was kind of
that's amazing to feel, like you said, to feel it in a different perspective, and obviously there's been a lot of heavy things that have happened in this world and country, so I think that probably contributes to him performing that song in a different way than he did last year. So
yeah, I think so.
I
definitely think so.
It's
and
it's really hard for me to separate out if it was like just that the power of being so physically close and being able to like feel that energy, or if they were just really on fire tonight, but Dave was just like came out dancing, like it was just the whole thing. So
agreed.
It was a really good show. I personally will not be coming back to Bristow as a venue, but I loved the show.
Yeah, I mean, I'm a 4.5 hour drive to Bristow from my house. I don't think I'd come back. It was a hard crowd. It was a really large pit, which I've now learned because I've never been in the pit before. And it was aggressive. Like,
Wow.
It was tough. Yeah, it was tough. I mean, unfortunate. Really unfortunate. It was tough.
It was tough.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I don't know what to say. I don't really understand the whole thing, but I just kept, you know what else was cool is that Rodrigo and Sanjay, two of their photographers, were both there taking
nice.
photos. So it was kind of fun because they were like passing each other and like you know, it was almost like high-fiving as they go by, and like that was really cool. Yeah.
It was
I mean, it
That's
was
awesome.
awesome. Yeah. You're gonna have that. Sometimes you're just gonna have a tough pit. I don't know. Like, I have no idea.
I know people like, I think Bristow had a rain delay or a thunderstorm the last time, or either 2019 or 2021. And I remember people kind of feeling a way about, I don't know if it was just maybe the storm or the venue itself. So it's interesting how there's different people come to shows, but there's just different venues that have good pits, bad pits. So it is kind of you go to a show and you see how you like it, and that determines if you come back. But hey, no one can take this night away. No one can take away the experience. And there was 2 more songs here that made their debut: Louisiana Bayou and Virginia in the Rain. Both of these songs came back. What did you guys think of those songs?
I mean, amazing. and you know, to sound silly, but to be in Virginia and then hear that song and it's summer and it's the feeling and the vibe. It was really cool. I've never heard it live. It was really, I loved it. And Bayou is just such a cool jam.
It's one of my favorites.
Love it.
I first saw them do Bayou live at Red Rocks in 2005. So I went to all 4 of those. I know, right?
The Weekend on the Rocks release.
That's right. I was there. Night 1, I was in the front row, which was bananas. And that's a technical term, bananas. And but it was the first time that like I felt like my brain exploded. Like I was like, oh my God. So now every time they play it, I'm like, it gets so pumped up. It's funny. I'm so glad that you're sharing all your knowledge about like what's been liberated this tour, because for me, when I'm in there, I'm just like, it's like I get tunnel vision. I'm like, I don't know what's happening, but I like it.
Right. And everything just blends.
It's all, you're like, I'm being sucked into the vortex.
Yeah.
So, and Virginia in the Rain is just, it's so beautiful. So I'm glad that's what he did.
Yeah. And I think you bring up an interesting point. The person who got me into Dave Matthews Band, my friend Peter, he actually stopped watching set lists until it's his time to go to a show, because he wanted to just take in the show. And he didn't want to see how many times Pig or Ants, like he just wanted to take in shows. And he's done that for about 3 or 4 years, and he actually enjoys the shows better because because he's just going in. And like you said, I think this year it's important as well, because we have, if you're counting what songs are played, you're going to be like, well, they've played a lot of these same songs a bunch of times, but individually, Walk Around the Moon, that was played tonight, Lying in the Hands of God, Come On, Come On, the vocals on that song. I played a clip from my Instagram before you guys came on. If you listen to those songs as is, it doesn't matter how you feel about them. They sound great this year. So if you're going to a show, you're flying to Austin, Texas or Houston, you're like, oh, they played Warehouse 3 shows in a row. Well, Warehouse is a good song, but don't let it get to your head that it's been played every, it was at one point it was played every night, but don't think about it like that. Think about it like you're getting Warehouse or you're getting Walk Around the Moon. And this is the best I've seen the Buddy Strong version of this band just from the Sirius XM. I haven't even been there yet. I haven't even been to a show. But just from the Sirius XM, from the taper audio, it's the best I've heard this version of the band sound. Tim turned down a little bit more. Dave, you can hear him more. I think it's the best. And I think that's why for some people, I think the more diehards they've been to, a bunch of shows, 50, 60, 70, 80 shows. Some of my friends, I've said, hey, maybe you need to just take a break. Go to your local shows, because it gets just like your kids, just like a marriage. I've talked to my grandma. She's 80, in her mid 80s. I won't give her age, but she talks about, listen, she's like, your grandfather gets someone. I love him, but I got to have my time away. So I think about things you commit yourself to for long periods of time. Now, sometimes for some people, like you guys are talking about, it doesn't matter. But for other people, you need that break. Go see a couple other bands, go spend time, take 4 shows off your list, because some people go to 10, 15 shows, and just live and come back to it next year in a different light. So I'm a believer of that.
That's a really good perspective. So I usually do somewhere between 10 and 15 shows a year.
Okay.
Now, as I got older and I could afford it, like when I was younger, I couldn't do it. Right. And like, but I see a lot of other music, live music too, which is great. I think it's an important balance. I agree with you totally. And some people, I think, genuinely like the statistics of some of this stuff, like they do with baseball or anything else, is like that does bring them joy.
Right.
I am terrible. Like I don't know any of that. Like I don't care.
Yeah. Same.
You know, I just enjoy my time. But I think I'm always kind of impressed when people are like, oh no, he played that in Charlottesville in 2018. And I'm like, cool. Yeah. That's amazing.
Yeah, for sure.
Right? Everybody can find different joy. And there goes the bus or the trucks.
There goes the bus.
There goes the trucks.
Yeah.
Everybody can find something in it. If you're already a fan.
And that's how I am I'm the exact opposite with sports. I love the stats of DMB, but I go to Yankees, Red Sox I'm a Yankees fan. I go to baseball I go to hockey. Football is the most important. The football is the biggest one. People are like, well, this guy has a passer. I'm like, I don't care. I'm watching the game. I'm watching the game. I don't care about the stats.
Yeah.
Does it look like, what does the game look like? If there's snow and like I'm from Connecticut, like the Patriots are playing. If there's a snowy game and people are throwing snowballs and it's all sloppy, like I love that. I don't care about what this guy did in August during a practice. I want to see the actual game on TV, or when I go to the games.
Right.
I just want to see the fun and joy of that. And after the game, I don't go to like I do this show, but I don't watch the post-game show 9 times out of 10 for football. Right. I go eat dinner. I go hang out with my family. So I think it's important. That's what I try to bring. I don't like to have an echo chamber. I want to bring different perspectives, and I want to show people, and that you guys are a great example, that there's not a wrong way to take in DMB. Outside of maybe the only wrong thing is leaving your trash everywhere, pushing people like you guys you said in the pit. I was shocked when you said you had the rail, because the one thing I've seen at shows, the rail, sometimes you get, not all the time. Sometimes if you're at the rail, people will kind of respect you. If you're right behind the rail, you get pushed. So that's just being kind to others, picking up after yourself. That's the only thing that's not negotiable to me.
I think it's really important. I think you brought up, you mentioned something and touched upon it a little bit right there too. When you're going to these different venues and you're having these experiences, I am very grateful. Like I feel very, very grateful that I was able to be in the pit on the rail with Emily for my first experience. And having said that, I think that what I take away from this experience is the gratefulness and all that stuff, but that you really do have to be kind, because I'm it's okay to go to a show and walk away feeling a little, I didn't feel sadder. I think what I felt a little sad is that, again, trying to feel grateful. I'm not really explaining this all that well, but just I'm really grateful to be there. But I'm sad that there were people that were being so aggressive and not nice in the pit, and that some guy's daughter was crying because he was being aggressive with people around him, and like
here's the deal, is that, if I may,
please, because I'm clearly not.
I think it's started off a little rough, with some people who are drinking too much and being very close with their space. Usually when you're on the rail, there's like the riser, and then there's, but there is none of that. So everybody just kind of pushed forward. And we tried to establish from the beginning, like, let's create space for everybody so we don't get squished. That was not received well. And then the rest of the night, whatever, people are human. Like, things just kept going. I think there was miscommunication. I think people were making judgments and assumptions. I'm sure people were high and drinking, and like, I'm not making excuses. I'm just saying that's part of shows. And so, you know, people are people, and sometimes, and I would say, not that this is an excuse, but as you mentioned, there's a lot of really heavy, hard stuff going on in the world right now.
Yeah.
And I think, how can we not internalize that and, you know, again, lash out at the wrong time or whatever? And emotions are heightened, right? Again, I'm not making excuses, but I'm trying to like understand that these things sometimes happen. It's a tough time in the world. So, of course, you hope that everybody's going to be kind, but I'm not going to say I'm always kind. I'm not perfect. I make mistakes too. So, right? Sorry. Is that too much, Marcus?
No, it's great. It's a great point, is that there's a lot of different factors we're all going through, but I think that it's not that there's nothing wrong with feeling that your show was impacted by behavior, because like you said, you're definitely grateful to be there. But I've walked away from sporting events, I've walked away from concerts, no matter different parts of the venues, but when somebody is acting up, when someone is rude, it does kind of rub you the wrong way. But I hopefully, if anyone's watching this show, maybe it was you've been to a show and you were a little too loud or you were a little too upset. If we all just try to self-reflect and learn and try to be better. Nobody is perfect. We've all made mistakes. I can think of a show.
We gotta go.
Oh, you gotta
Sorry,
go. Okay.
We got security.
Okay. Well,
We got security coming over.
All right.
All I'll say, Marcus, is I agree with you. I have made some mistakes, and I think about them, and sometimes you don't get a chance to fix them.
Right.
Yeah.
And apologize. So I'm really glad you said that, is that we do make mistakes, and I will admit that I have made mistakes and just try to be better.
Yeah.
All right. Well, hey, you guys did not have to do this. We appreciate it. We know when I leave shows before I did this stream, I get tired. I want to go eat, but we thank you so much for taking, 15, 20 minutes of your time to come on this. And we hope you have a safe trip home.
Thank you so much. Thanks for having us, Marcus. Good to see you.
All right. Take care. Bye.
Take care, you too. Bye. Bye.
All right. That was Renee and Emily. And thank you guys so much for being on. I know it's tough to get people tonight. Let's see. DP Duke. Wait, why do I feel like I'm gonna try to see. I don't know if you're on Instagram. Why do I feel like I've seen your handle before? Oh, Derrick. Okay, Derrick, I'm gonna send you. Oh, I don't know if I can send you a message because I see you on Instagram. Hold on, let me check my Twitter. Well, we want to try to get him on. But yeah, I mean, it's unfortunate, some of the things in the pit, and every pit is different. But it is unfortunate that they did experience what they experienced here. Let's see. Okay, this is what I'll do. Okay, and obviously, so this link I'm going to put in the chat is for Derrick. If you see this, just come on. If you're not Derrick and you come on, I'm like, hey, you're not Derrick, we're going to kick you off. But this is the link the thing I just put in the chat. That's the link to join, but that's for Derrick, specifically for Derrick, DP Duke 69. That's who we want to join. So the link is right there. Let's see. We'll turn the ticker off for now. But I'm glad that they got to experience being in the pit. They got some great numbers. And yeah, if you're going to the pit, you have a warehouse pit ticket. There is a draw. It doesn't matter when you show up, but there's a random draw, and then they do it by numbers, so 1 through whatever. And if you're in the okay, so I think we got Derrick. Hold on, let me just set this up, and we'll get Derrick on in just a second. Let's see. All right, Derek, how you doing?
Hey, Marcus, doing well. How you doing tonight?
I'm doing well. Tell us about the show in Bristow. How was it?
Yeah, this was number 71 for me. I've been going since '04 and just been trucking along. This is a second show of the tour for me. Went to Charlotte and
Okay.
this was a good show. I like coming to Bristow. I'm from Raleigh, North Carolina, and
Okay.
I make the trek up here quite a bit. And I like the set, but a couple tweaks and it goes from a good to a great show for me.
So what songs would you take off of the set?
So, uh, so the raised B guitar comes out, and I'm hoping it's "You Never Know," and it ends up being "Lying in the Hands of God," which is, it's a good song, and I've seen it quite a bit. But "You
Mhm.
Never Know" just takes it to the next level.
Gotcha. Okay, so you would take that out. What else? Anything else?
And so then I thought it was the baritone guitar. It's the standard tune Jerry Jones guitar. It looks exactly the same, just shorter scale length. And we get the Bayou tour debut, but was hoping that was break free. I haven't seen it since my third show in '06.
Wow. Yep, so that's when they were playing it in 2006. Yep, so you didn't get it in Virginia. Now, Charlotte, did they do Break For It or Break Free in Charlotte for you? Or?
We got break for it, which was awesome. I mean, that was
Okay.
I'd been listening to that on the DMB Live 25, the
Yes.
2010 version.
Yes,
And
that's amazing.
that was great to get. I mean, show 70, you're still getting songs you haven't heard before.
Yeah, that's impressive, and congratulations for being able to get all those shows in since '04. There. Now, how was this? Where were you sitting, and how was the sound at Bristow?
I when it started for That Girl Is You, the horns were a little quiet. I was in lower pavilion on the Buddy side,
Okay.
and but it definitely improved towards me maybe 2 to 3 songs in. But I was a little nervous that they weren't going to turn Jeff up. But by the time So Right kicks in, he was just blaring, and it was great.
So I think they should. I think. Listen, I would vote for Rashawn to be turned down. Like he can still like obviously you want to hear him, but I think he needs to be turned. He can always be turned down. I think the last year, I said this last night, Jeff Coffin should be turned up, and Jeff Coffin should get more playing time. That's how I
No
feel.
doubt.
Is that he should get more. So to me, I separate the horns out and I say, listen, turn Jeff up, keep Rashawn down, or keep him at a good mix while he's doing regular notes. If he goes high for solos, turn him down. That's how I feel.
No,
So
absolutely. I mean, let's be honest. This is a band that was sax based, and the
yes,
trumpet is just kind
yes,
of extra flair.
right. It's extra credit, and it's gotten sometimes it gets too extra, in my opinion. So we
Sure.
love Rashawn. He is the quarterback of he draws the plays up. He
No
is
doubt.
Dave is a coach. He's a defensive coach who says, "Look, Rashawn, run the offense for us," and he does a great job there. How was the new songs for you as far not the 21 songs, Madman's
Yeah.
Eyes and Walk Around the Moon? What'd you think of those songs now that they're in 2022?
This was probably my biggest takeaway from this show is that Madman's Eyes, which is tonight I saw for the first time, didn't get it in Charlotte. Um, Madman's Eyes is powerful, and it it
Mhm.
it, it kind of blew me away. Like I knew it was going to be good, but man, with the baritone sax and like the way Stefan sounds, it just drives. It sounds great.
Absolutely. It's a good song. And to me, it gives an energy of darkness and power that we have not gotten since the last stop.
Exactly.
It that's really what it does. And it gives me like I didn't think that Dave could put together a song or the band. I didn't think they could draw something like Madman's Eyes out because their lives are so good. Like they have good lives. There's no real drama that they have. And it's hard to make a song like Madman's Eyes when everything is good in your life and you're not still going through breakups and, you know, you're not having splitting ways with friends and managers. Like, how do you write a song like this late? But I think that the world going mad has actually inspired Madman's Eyes. So
Exactly. And that's, you know, clearly he's taken, you know, inspiration from what's going on in the world versus his personal life on that one. No doubt.
yeah. And there's a number 40 T's that people are reporting. Did you hear that? And if so, how long did it seem to go out?
Honestly, I looked and it's I was like, I didn't catch that, to be honest. And I was, you know, anticipating the encore, and I was thinking it was possible to get a Virginia in the Rain, but I was surprised since we did get that in 2019 in the encore.
Gotcha. And that was the only other time it was played at Jiffy Lube. There's only two Virginia in the Rains in Bristow, which is interesting because it is Virginia, and there's they haven't played it. You know, they've had 18, 19, 21, and 22. That's only been played twice.
I did want to mention Walk Around the Moon tonight. This is the second time I've seen it this year, and I did see it last tour. But man, it's sounding even tighter than last year. And I know people are saying we want a little more, you know, that we want that outro solo to breathe a little bit.
Ants marching forms, that's all they're saying.
And I'm on there, you know, just as much as anybody. But
right.
But you know, I gotta say though, Dave's just into it, and it's tight, and they're, you know, it's clearly, I think it's clearly been recorded and has a great studio cut, but that's my opinion.
Yeah, and that's I don't know if you seen the Ants Marching new album thread. I don't know if you're on there.
For sure.
Okay, you probably see me then. I'm Mo Nizzle on there.
Yeah, I put that
together. So, but yeah, that's a good point, and I really feel like the fact that Break Free, Break For It are so intentional this year, and they sound good. Walk Around the Moon sounds good. Madman's Eyes sounds good. They've had to have practiced those songs. They've had to practice those songs because we all know when Dave actually just brings out a song that's he just came up with, or he brings out a song like that he's resurrecting. Sometimes it's rough. Sometimes it doesn't sound as good, but Walk Around the Moon, the vocals, the playing of it, and I haven't seen it in person, but the Sirius XM streams, every time it's on there, it is very, very tight. So they've done some work. I think an album is coming out Q3, Q4 of this year, just because of that. And now we have two covers. What are your thoughts just in general, and even the show, about these covers coming out? Do you like covers? Do you like certain covers? Do you want no covers at all? Or?
You know, I was into Sledgehammer the most in 2008 when it was new and it was fresh. I was at Mile High Music Festival, the official release.
Oh, nice.
And that was like my first big trip when I was 18 years old, and I went to go visit my brother out in Colorado, and I'd only usually go to Raleigh shows at that point.
Okay.
And so, you know, it makes the crowd just go nuts, though. You can't deny that.
Yeah, it does.
And I like the song, you know, seen it enough, but it just kills, like, energy wise.
Right. Yeah, I'm a huge Peter Gabriel fan. To me, I actually get offended when people say Dave does it better, because Peter Gabriel live in Athens is the best version of that song. But
oh, no doubt.
I was the same way in obviously like about 8 years later in 2014, when I first got it, I loved it. And then after the years have gone by, I don't mind it at a show having fun, but like it's still, I would rather not have it around if possible. But it does get the crowd going. The crowd goes nuts. The casuals, the in betweens, it is a crowd pleaser. So even though I say I don't want it, it does get the crowd going. So.
And I'd love to see them do, you know, a Salisbury Hill. You know, I saw that in Virginia Beach 2009, full band. And I don't know if that's popped up more than twice or so. in their history,
Yeah,
other than Dave and Friends.
I was gonna say I thought they played it at Mile High. Maybe I'm just mixing up my shows. There was because I feel like I've heard a live release version of that.
I think it may have been like only Nashville, and maybe I saw it in Virginia Beach 09, and I think it only got a couple plays that summer, that big whiskey summer.
So let's see. Oh yeah, it wasn't played a mile. So it was played Syracuse, New York in 09, and then Virginia Beach in 09. That's the two there. It had one. Looks like these are Dave and Tim's. Oh, Dave. Oh no, you're right. That's the Dave and Friends. The Dave and Friends in 04.
Exactly.
And then, but yeah, the Dave and Friends are 04, and then 2003. Oh yeah, that's the Dave and Friends that came up. Yeah. So there's only been a couple plays full band. Obviously another Peter Gabriel.
If you had to choose, Marcus, one other Peter Gabriel cover, if you had to, what would you choose? I would choose Red Rain.
Red Rain. That's a good one. I love Games Without Frontiers, but I don't know. I'm trying to think what the band could actually cover.
Yeah, it's fun to think about.
In Your Eye. Well, I don't know if they could. Yeah, I don't think, because I think a lot of people want them to cover songs, but they don't have the full, they don't have the personnel to, like, In Your Eyes, same thing. Don't Give Up. Like, you really need like a different band to make those songs stick.
They could probably pull off Steam in the way that they do Sledgehammer. I don't know.
Yeah, they could. It's
kind of got that horn feel, you know.
Yeah. There's, they could do. Because Dave's from South Africa, Biko.
Oh no.
But yeah, it's kind of hard because I kind of put, even though obviously Lily White worked with both of them, there is a 80s synth vibe to Peter Gabriel that, to me, I just don't think, even though Buddy Strong could do it, I just think of them as they're two separate artists, even though he's influenced by them. But that's a good question. Yeah, it'd be interesting. Actually, he should do the Peter Gabriel cover. I think it's called Spotlight. No, it's good.
What is it? What's that version? It's now it's on Spotify. It's so good. The that 92 version from that which live track 37, I think.
37.
Trying to remember which one it was.
He does Spotlight in it?
Yeah. It's one that just got thrown up on streaming.
I'll have to actually check that out because I don't. For some reason, I know 36. I own 36, 31, and 32, 33. Like, I know all those. I'll have to check. I don't think I've heard Live Tracks 37. That may be a blind spot in my Live Tracks.
Probably the best quality recording of Spotlight you're gonna find, and it's I love playing it on guitar, so I wish he would do it. I know he's not, but
yeah, I think it's because Pete Gritsar, or because he actually helped write it. I don't think they'll ever do it. That's what I've heard.
That makes sense.
Like, there's some of those songs from that era that aren't played. It's because they just want to honor the just respect. Okay, so this is a Tracks 92 performance. Yeah, this is one that I have not heard. I'm looking at the set list. I'm looking at his tracks.
Definitely check out that Spotlight, Cry Freedom, Lover Lay Down if you haven't.
Yeah, I'll have to check this out. And there's a Angel from Montgomery. Okay. Yeah, I have to check that out. So you're from Raleigh, Durham, or you're in the Raleigh, Durham area. Actually, my aunt, if you ever get arrested, my aunt's a judge down there.
Oh, perfect.
I think it's the Durham, what is it? Yeah, she's a judge, a magistrate down there. Good
to know.
Yeah, she's been down there. And then you guys took my Hartford Whalers. They
got
stolen, but it's a great area. It's an emerging area of the country. So you're from, that's your home. So the Charlotte was, oh, go ahead.
A lot of people rep that Whalers merch down here now too. They push it pretty hard.
I saw it during the Rangers series that even in the crowd, because now that they're reselling it as Hurricane, in the Hurricanes team store, there's a lot. Yeah, I've seen them like, wait, no, you guys don't deserve it. So North Carolina is your main drag, but you go out to Bristow. Any other shows you're going to this year?
This year, I'm thinking about adding like a big trip, but on the docket right now is Raleigh and Virginia Beach, so more of the local ones.
Right. And how do you feel about the fact that they split Raleigh and Charlotte this year? So you had one pass at the beginning, and now you're going to get Raleigh later on. How do you feel about that being kind of a different thing in the schedule?
I actually like it. If I'm not going to hit a 2-night stand, I have a chance of getting a somewhat different set at, a different point in the tour. And, they've pretty much mixed it up a million times. I've gone from Raleigh to Bristow, Raleigh to Virginia Beach, Charlotte to Bristow, like they mess it up, change it up every tour pretty much.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, definitely. And are you gonna be going to the festival, the Something in the Water at all? Any potential?
I am not. It's interesting that they added that, and it's cool that they kind of kept their word that they were gonna do that, after the cancellation.
Right.
So I'm probably not gonna make it out to that, but will be interesting to see what they do.
Yeah, it's a tough. Now I'm a hip hop. I listen to some of the newer hip hop. I love hip hop, but even so, it is a lot to get down to DC, pay for a hotel down in DC, and then you're not guaranteed really much from the band. They're probably gonna play a cookie cutter set. So I don't blame you there.
That set might look like the Cisco Live one next week.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. Those, they're only playing the songs on the list that they have for the private events. They collect their check and move on. And it should be interesting because that'll be the third night in a row they play. Because I'm going to Mansfield and Hartford, and they're going, and I'm worried about that because Hartford now, instead of Dave just letting loose and maybe going vocally crazy, he's going to probably have to save something for DC. So definitely changes it up there. And now, how did you feel about the crowd? Because now we just talked to two people from the pit, obviously, and the pit is always different. How was the crowd by you?
In the lower section where I was on like the left buddy side, a good mix of hardcores and casuals. Honestly, everyone was super cool and nice, but it was it's interesting that the baritone comes out and I'm like going break free, and like I hear a guy behind me like echoing my break free chant before they cut into Bayou instead.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. So that's cool, and it's one of those things where Bayou is what you don't want. You already had So Right, so you're like, you're hoping for that break free. But that's the way it goes. Any other final thoughts about this show?
Yeah, I was surprised. I know you talked a little bit about Come On, and this is my second time seeing it. I saw it in 2018 at that Charlotte show where you can check out the stream on YouTube. Yeah, and man, it sounded so much better than 2018.
That's good to hear.
I'm not even the biggest fan of that song, but when it came on, I was like, wow, it just sounds like super full, and the backing vocals were great, and I think the guitar mix was just so much better than 2018.
Yeah. Oh, actually, we're gonna keep you on. I don't know. Did you get the poster? Because I have it up now. Did you get the poster tonight?
I did not. I did see that it sold out online like really quick. With the was it the Waves and the Whale?
Yeah. Todd Slater poster. This was actually a shocker that he did Bristow. Usually he does like MSG, Deer Creek. This is probably one of the smallest demand show that Slater has done.
Gotcha. Yeah, and to be honest, I'm not the biggest poster guy, but I do
Okay.
have a few that just shows that I love the set and framed a couple.
Awesome. Were you able to see like how like in the actual venue how quickly it may have sold out?
I did not personally.
Okay. Okay. Because that's what I was interested. There were people on the poster groups and threads selling this poster at 5 o'clock, 6 o'clock. You
Oh,
started
wow.
to see posts. So some people, I guess, is there an outdoor one at Bristow?
I didn't see one at Bristow.
Okay. I just know whoever got there first to the merch desk, they were selling this poster. They were doing, I don't know, are you familiar with the waffle?
Yeah.
Okay, yeah. So they were waffling it off literally right away. They filled up. So it wasn't like, I mean, sometimes people will do that at the show and they don't get enough people for another day. But there was literally like people were buying 5 and 6 spots for the waffle, and it was literally before I could blink, the post was full for all the squares or all the numbers. So
Wow.
there's a lot of people that wanted this poster. It's an artist who to me has not missed. He's only had solid grade A posters for DMB. He's had posters for some other people in the music world, from the Foo Fighters to I believe just some other. He's done some other big acts too. Gary Clark, I think he did Gary Clark Jr., but he's known in the poster industry. He is respected and loved as one of the favorites. So, but thank you for giving us your insight. Hopefully we will. Hey, if you continue to add shows, we'll try to have you on again.
For sure. I'm considering Alpine, but not 100% yet.
Gotcha. The flights, I'm doing Deer Creek and Alpine, and the flights are just wild right now.
For sure.
To get out to Chicago. So it's tough. But hey, if you end up doing it, go for it. I mean, I think it's going to be a great weekend. But thank you so much for being on, Derek. You have a good night.
Thanks, Marcus. Have a good night.
All right. Peace.
Bye.
All right. So thank you, Derek, for being on. So again, two different perspectives here. Derek's been he's in the 70s for shows. Justin says Derek and the Dominoes. Shout out to Eric Clapton, or I don't know. He's controversial right now. He's had some thoughts that are controversial, but we won't get into that. Yeah, Shane says shout out to Mile High. Cuse was the full. Yeah, that's the Salisbury Hill. Yeah, that probably won't ever come back. It just won't. It was, it's a great song, beautiful song, but for DMB, it's not. I will say this poster, I just talked about it a little bit, but it is. I mean, Todd Slater does not miss. I would title this poster "A Wave of Hope." It's actually a Fish. Fish actually did an awesome. Let's see if we can pull that up. Fish whales. So this was at Madison Square Garden last month. This is Fish. This poster looks like it should have been the poster for this Fish show. Sorry, I'm muted. Sorry, guys. But that video I just showed you was from Fish at Madison Square Garden, April 22nd, 2022. What was supposed to be the New Year's Eve show into New Year's Day, but then with Omicron, they moved it to April. This poster would have been perfect. Yeah, thank you, Derek. He says, thanks for having me on, Marcus. Fun being on. Really appreciate it, Derek, for being on. Again, it was tough to get people tonight, and people came in last minute. But this poster, to me, this is a Bristow show isn't necessarily known for the poster. Obviously, the final poster for the Roy Morris final show was amazing. And even if he was still alive, it would have been a really cool poster. But obviously that poster was very popular. But Slater, I think like an artist like him, typically he is a Deer Creek, but I think this is good for people who live in Northern Virginia. You got a top-notch artist. It's kind of like when Chuck Sperry did the Government Mule show. I got a Sperry. My only Sperry is a Government Mule one, and he did like Government Mule did Westfield Music Bowl in New Haven. Obviously, they did have Ann Wilson, the show I went to, which was awesome. She did some Zeppelin covers with the band and some of her stuff, a couple of her songs. But like the fact that Chuck Sperry was doing a Connecticut show for Government Mule, that they did have a special set of shows, but it was Connecticut. It wasn't like New York or LA or like a huge, like a Boston major city. So it is special sometimes when these big artists do a smaller city or town. But this was something that, hey, I think even me included, obviously Greg said this, they should have had this for a bigger weekend than I'm going to, right? Deer Creek, Alpine, Hartford, Mansfield. But it's what it is. Beautiful poster. Love it. The foil was also pretty cool as well. Saw some pictures on some Facebook groups. But that's pretty much it. What I will say, guys, thank you guys. If you're watching this replay and you made it this long, they're gonna go to Vegas on the 15th. I'm not doing a post-show stream for the Cisco Live there, but obviously I'm not gonna. I don't know anyone. I'm not doing that. That doesn't count. But Mansfield, I will be at. Now, keep in mind for Mansfield, I will be it'll be very, very late that I actually do that stream. So our West Coast folks like Shane, I'll give you more of a time on Twitter and Instagram. You should follow me on Instagram or Twitter because I give more, especially Twitter, I give a lot more detailed. Oh, I did not put my thing up. Let me put it up now so people can jump on. I forgot to put it live on Twitter. I got to give myself the buzzer. Oh, I could have got more people on here. Like our friends Jen and Hines. Let's see if I can put this on. Gonna tweet it right now. Oh, I forgot to do that, guys. And I get a lot of people. Shout out to Twitter. There's people that will hop on, like Hines and Jen, that see the fact that it's on Twitter. So forgot to do that. But for next weekend, Hartford will be a little bit quicker. Hartford, I may be on at like 11 o'clock. We're actually more like 11:30. Hartford, I may be on like at 11:30. But stay tuned because like Mansfield, I'm going to be driving back. So it may be 12:30 that I'm actually on for Mansfield. But I want to get the show up. So if you miss it live, subscribe to my channel. You can watch it in the morning. But I will have a show there. So yeah, just stay tuned for that. Let's see what else is going on. Let me make sure that I'm covering all my bases. What did I say I was going to talk about today? Oh, let's do a little bit of a preview. So we're going to do a preview. So here we are. This is a big turning point in the tour. Now, there still isn't a 2-night stand. That's going to come Deer Creek weekend. But this is another pivotal point in the DMB touring season. We talked about the regular season. Regular season started with the first 2-night stand, and that's now been a couple of weeks. It was supposed to be West Palm, and then it was Charleston, and it was kind of a big thing that West Palm Beach was delayed due to Dave, or not Dave, someone getting the 19. Right, someone getting the 19. And so here we are. We're at this point. The band is going to be in the Northeast, and they still put on great shows. There are going to be potential repeats between Mansfield and Hartford, but Hartford is a tough ticket still, even with the 1-night stand. Mansfield there's still tickets available, but it's still a popular show. A lot of diehards in this area go to Mansfield. So what do I expect? I know I've been saying it the last couple of weeks. I do expect, I think this is where Before These Crowded Streets is going to start to get some more plays, more tour debuts from Before These Crowded Streets. A Stone or Pig or both. I think those are going to come back. Last year, the Stone opener and tour debut was in Mansfield. So expect a Pig or a Stone in Mansfield. Same thing with Hartford. If they don't play Stone in Mansfield, the next night in Hartford, they're probably going to play it. You're going to start to see more solid sets. You're still going to see some of the cookie cutters. But I can almost guarantee Break Free or Break For It, one of those will be played next weekend. This is really a big step in the tour to move up to the Northeast, and this is where you start to get to the prime of the tour. They do Hartford, right? They go to Hartford, and then they continue on. They're going to have DC and Clarkston, Michigan. Now, Clarkston, Pine Knob, now is Pine Knob again. It depends. We'll see what happens. But really, the weekends are what you're going to want to look out for. And I'm going to be at all these weekends for the next couple of, for like the next month. Hartford, Mansfield, I'll be there, right? So I'll be there for Hartford, Mansfield weekend. I'll be there for Deer Creek weekend. I'll be there for Alpine weekend. And I'll be there for SPAC weekend. So, your boy Conservis 34 is going to be going to these shows on the freaking weekend. I'm not going to Jones Beach, and I'm not going to Homedale, New Jersey. Those venues, sometimes they got some great posters last year, and they got some decent shows. But I will not be going there. If you're going there, hey, we want you on the stream. But I don't want to. I can't spread myself thin to go back and forth. It is going to be a little bit of a shuttle run or a sprint where they're going to be going Hartford and Mansfield down to DC, then up to Clarkston, Michigan, then Deer Creek, and then they're going to go back after Deer Creek. They're going to go back to the East Coast for Homedale, Jones Beach, Homedale. Then they're going to go back to the Midwest for Alpine. So they're doing an interesting back and forth. Hopefully, I wish the crew the best because they're going to be logging a lot of miles, especially with this high gas, where they're going back and forth, back and forth. Now, they won't have, I think the stage and all that won't have to go to DC. So I think after Mansfield, the stage crew will go right to Clarkston or take a day or two off and then go to Clarkston. But just keep in mind that for the something in the water, they're not going to have all their gadgets on stage, just their instruments and maybe a couple of stuff, a prompter. But they're not going to have their full stage set up at something in the water. It's not feasible at a festival. So the band's crew, the stage crew will, I think, move right to Michigan or get ready for it after Hartford. But I do think that you're going to get some of these Before These Crowded Streets. Maybe we get a Halloween, right? I think Before These Crowded Streets is going to be big. Oh, yeah, Toronto. There's a Toronto show as well. So they have to go over to customs. And let's see. So yeah, there's a lot of things coming on here for this band, and I think that we're gonna get some more stuff. The tour debuts are going to ease out, but keep in mind this band is really striking in its what works. They're striking with what works. You're gonna get these sledgehammers. You're gonna get these don't drink the waters. You're gonna get some of these ants marching. Right. Some of this stuff is going to be in rotation. That the You and Me's, the Samurai Cops, because they do get the crowd moving. We may like some of these to go away. Bayou, I hope Bayou actually does go away, right? But they get the crowd going. There's going to be some of that, but there are gyms, and really, what I would say is look for the gyms. Focus on the gyms. Focus on the best songs, the rarest songs that you get in the set. But there is going to be a mix of both, even when they go to these diehard regions of the country in the Midwest and the Northeast, and between Hartford, Mansfield, Deer Creek, Alpine, and they get back to SPAC. So that's where we're at. If you want to be on the show, if you're going to a show, let your boy know, especially something in the water. I would love for someone to go to that festival and let us know how it is. Clarkston, Michigan, out there, Pine Knob, let me know. Tony C, if you're going to be there, let me know if you're going to Pine Knob. I'm sure, I know you're in the Detroit Metro, but we'd love to have you on from there as well. Even as Conservate 34 is on the road, I still plan to have shows. Again, just stay tuned because some of these shows will be scattered. They may go later. Sometimes as an emergency, it will be the next day. We'll talk about the previous show, but I still don't expect that. I think I can commit to doing these each night because I have the time, I have the preparation, and I have the availability. So that's where we're at. That's where we are at right now. What we'll do is let's get Virginia in the rain. We'll close out with this. Let's see if we can get this. Yeah, we'll get shout out to Mitch White. He got this one. We're going to end off with this Virginia in the rain. Oh, Tony C will be there. All right. So Tony C, we'll have to have you on. Tony C, I was actually I would have hit you up. Tony C. I was supposed to be in the Detroit metropolitan area for a wedding this upcoming weekend, but a couple of things came up where I can't make it, and obviously Hartford and Mansfield fall in that week, but I just wasn't. I will get out to Detroit at some point. One of my good friends from here in Connecticut, who went to Central Michigan, him and his wonderful fiance are getting married next week. So congratulations to my boy Vincent and his wonderful bride to be as well, who is, they're going to get married in Detroit, in the Detroit metropolitan area. I'm excited for them. Vincent and I'm drawing a blank on his fiance. Why am I drawing a blank? Let me see. I'm going to get this right, folks. I know her last name. I can't say her last name. I'm not trying to give full government names out. Where is it? Oh, Liz. Oh, Vincent and Liz. Of course, it's an easy name. Vincent and Liz. Congratulations. You guys will have your wedding next weekend. I'm excited for you guys. Wish I could have been there, but I will definitely send my love, and I'm going to send something out to you guys as well. But we're going to end with this, Virginia in the rain. Yeah, what I was going to do is, Tony C, I was going to go to the Upper Peninsula. I was actually going to go to Ohio because I have family, friends in Western Ohio that I was going to go visit. What else was I going to do? I was going to Detroit. I was going to potentially go to Toronto, but I couldn't make. I have so many things going on right now, and I couldn't make that weekend. I also have a mentorship program thing I have to get to this weekend. That's kind of important. I'm there for the kids. So lot of things came up, conflicts, and I'm happy for my friends. I will get out to the Detroit metropolitan area. At some point, I got to go see the Motown Museum as well. I love Motown music, and I love Big Sean. I love a little bit of Eminem. Some of his stuff is weird, but Eminem at his best, his motivational songs are amazing. But yeah, it's your boy Conservist 34. We're gonna end with this Virginia in the Rain. Hit the like button, and thank you guys for watching. Hope you guys like this new ticker. I think it's real cool. I know with StreamYard, I use Restream, but StreamYard you could use this. It was kind of a standard, but this just was added for the free version of Restream. So shout out to Restream for adding this. Without further ado, we are out of here. Appreciate the love, appreciate the support, especially over the last couple of weeks, in the last 2 months, really. So many people showing so much giving me so much positive feedback, saying, hey, thank you for doing this. So many great guests. And hope to meet. I'm going to be meeting some of you guys in Mansfield and in Hartford, and I'm excited for that. But I'm going to get off. Virginia in the Rain. Peace up. A-Town down. We will see you next weekend.
I don't play this song very often, but I have a particular fondness for it. Because you see that my children are all grown up, you know. And so this is when your kids are little, they look at you like, look at that. And then as they get older, they go, and if you look at it, they're like, you're pretty good.
Ship to the moon and back. We'll build castles in the riverbank. Don't ever grow up too fast. We'll turn off the music and dance, dance. Let's turn up the music and dance, dance, dance. Virginia naked in the rain. Make me feel like a kid again. Whatever you want, I'll give you that. Let's make the world grow up too fast. Let's make believe this gonna last forever. Don't feel it all alone. Oh yeah, whatever you want, I'll give you that. Tell me we won't grow up too fast. Let's make